Did you know that in Japan it's technically illegal to be overweight? Yes, you heard that right. Japan has one of the most peculiar laws regarding body measurements, and it's part of what's known as the Metabo Law. Introduced in 2008, the Metabo Law aims to reduce the waistlines of its citizens. The law sets an upper limit on waist sizes for individuals over 40, 33, 5 inches for men and 35, 4 inches for women. Companies and local governments are required to measure the waistlines of those within this age group during their annual checkups. But don't worry, individuals aren't going to jail for a few extra inches. Instead, the law targets organizations whose employees consistently exceed the prescribed limits, encouraging them to come up with wellness and weight loss initiatives. But why such a law, you might ask? It's all part of Japan's effort to tackle growing health issues like diabetes and cardiovascular disease, aiming for a healthier, more productive society. And it's not as intrusive as it sounds. The focus is more on prevention and encouraging a healthy lifestyle, rather than punishing people. Unlike some mistaken impressions, you can't be fined directly for exceeding the waistline requirements, but the law does compel companies to work closely with employees on bettering their health if their measurements go beyond what's allowed. Delving deeper into the culture, you'd find that Japan has always had a significant interest in health and longevity, influencing policies like these. Their approach to health management through interesting legal means might sound bizarre, but it's rooted in their dedication to public well-being. This is the land where people consistently rank high in longevity, often attributed to their diet, active lifestyle, and unique health measures like the Metabo Law. So you could say there's a method in this madness, although it's wrapped in quite an unusual package. Moving on from waistlines to something equally eyebrow-raising, did you know it's illegal to make a duplicate key in Japan without identification? Yes, if you're getting your keys copied in Japan, you better be ready to show some ID. This could be passport or any valid ID card, no exceptions. This law was put into place to deter unauthorized duplication of keys, potentially leading to unlawful entry or burglary. Key duplication shops must record each transaction, including the ID of the person requesting the key copy. The rationale behind such a regulation is quite clear if you think about it. It's about promoting safety and trust within communities, ensuring that key copying is legitimate and traceable. In a country where safety and order are highly valued, having such a measure in place helps maintain peace of mind. What's more, it dovetails with Japan's appreciation for privacy and security, as well as its oft-stated goal of being one of the world's safest countries. Let's take a step back in history where things get even more fascinating. During the Edo period, Japan had a law that prohibited commoners from wearing luxurious clothing like silk. It wasn't just about reducing extravagance. It was also imposed to maintain class distinctions. The samurai and upper classes were permitted to wear silk, thereby clearly marking their elevated social status. If you were caught flaunting attire above your rank, the penalties could be severe, ranging from fines to even banishment. Fast forward to modern times, and you won't find these sartorial restrictions. However, the echoes of history linger in Japan's social consciousness, where personal appearance still often subtly reflects one's social role or position. Although people today have the freedom to choose their attire, the care with which they present themselves ties back to those centuries-old norms of clothing as personal presentation. And while we're on the topic of clothing, did you know that in Japan, there's an actual law forbidding splashing pedestrians with your car? Yes, when you're driving through a rainy day in Japan, it's illegal to splash water onto pedestrians. It's considered a violation of the Road Traffic Act, and drivers can be fined if they drench someone by driving through puddles. This speaks volumes about Japan's societal emphasis on respect and consideration for others, highlighting the cultural traits that place immense value on the comfort and dignity of all, even while performing such a mundane job as driving. Can you imagine this level of courtesy framed into a legal requirement? While it might sound excessive to outsiders, for many in Japan, it's just part of everyday courteous behavior. Such an approach demonstrates the prioritization of limits can make a big difference to daily life. Another peculiar but fascinating law comes from the realm of public transportation. Japan's laws prohibit riding a bicycle while intoxicated. In fact, it's technically illegal to ride a bicycle alongside someone else, even if you've just had a soft drink. However, the strict enforcement usually falls on those under the influence of alcohol. If found guilty of drunk cycling, fines can amount to up to 1 million yen or even imprisonment for up to 5 years. Bicycles are a common sight in Japan, widely used for their convenience and ecological benefits. But with such heavy penalties in place, perhaps you'd think twice before hopping on your bike after a night out. Public safety is behind this regulation, ensuring that everyone, whether on wheels or foot, stays safe from accidental harm. Accidents involving drunk cycling are a real concern, given the volume of cyclists on the roads. By imposing strict rules, Japan encourages responsibility among its citizens. Alongside its comprehensive public transport system, these laws make Japan one of the most navigable and safe places in the world for pedestrians and cyclists alike. Now, let's dive into perhaps one of the most intriguing aspects of religious and cultural significance in terms of laws. You might find it surprising to learn that laws regarding fortune-telling exist, specifically focusing on what it should not involve. Surprisingly popular in Japan, you'd be hard-pressed not to find a street-side or small-shop fortune teller ready to peer into your future. Despite this proliferation, the law is watchful that such activities don't turn exploitative. Under the Japanese Penal Code, fortune-telling can be tied to fraud if it involves any misrepresentation meant to deceive individuals for monetary gain. This vital law ensures that while superstitions and spiritual insights can provide guidance or entertainment, they mustn't become tools for exploitation or abuse, thus keeping the practice grounded in ethical interaction. And what about love in Japan? While not enforced too strictly today, it's worth noting a historical law that regulated marriage-related decisions. Dating back to the Meiji period was the law governing the marriage of royals and nobles, ensuring they wed within similar social standings. Although laws don't dictate love lives to such a degree in contemporary Japan, the remnants of social class consideration linger within familial expectations, often influencing modern relationships, even subtly. Plus, there's a prohibition with long-standing cultural roots: gambling. Casino-style gambling is largely illegal across Japan, yet the country is home to Pachinko parlors. They're buzzing with excitement and thriving corridors of entertainment. While warding off gambling addiction, Pachinko parlors sidestep traditional gambling laws due to a loophole. Players win prizes that can then be traded for cash at separate venues. This intricate system exemplifies the Japanese flair for regulatory complexities in preserving cultural activities while maintaining public welfare. Imagine walking down a street lined with kiosks where wrestling with law and leisure is a daily dance. The finesse with which Pachinko games and payout regulations entwine is almost theatrical, allowing a cultural touchstone to flourish while maintaining a legal space unfettered by widening prohibition. Moreover, it's worth noting that Japan's laws are built around precision and reflection, often embodying deeply held societal values that are sometimes unwritten but widely acknowledged. For example, while no formal law dictates silence in public transport, it's an implicit rule strongly adhered to. The tranquility of Japanese trains isn't so much a regulated law as it is a culture of respect and courtesy firmly ingrained in the societal framework. Among these, Japan addresses digital realms through distinctive legislation around karaoke stores, too. Measures are in place to prevent underage alcohol consumption within these venues, and systems exist to manage noise levels discreetly, maintaining harmony with surrounding residential areas. Karaoke, an unassailable part of modern Japanese entertainment, thus exists comfortably alongside comprehensive regulations that safeguard public interest without stifling fun. Speaking about children and regulations, another unusual rule pertains to mobile phone use by minors. Some local governments in Japan have put forth guidelines recommending elementary and junior high school students refrain from using mobile phones after 9:00 p.m. The aim is to ensure ample rest and enhanced well-being, encouraging a healthier balance between technology and life, a nod to the pressures and competition that echo throughout Japanese education. This guidance finds resonance in Japan's collective attention to youth development, ensuring that the technological tides do not sweep away essential foundations of sleep and sociability. Values of perseverance, discipline, and collective effort thus carry forth into modern technological contexts, ensuring the wellness of young minds. Transitioning now to matters of nature, Japan holds several laws focused on environmental preservation and wildlife. For instance, catching certain species of sea life without permits can incur fines. Japan's connection to the sea is primordial and pivotal, manifesting in the careful stewardship over aquatic biodiversity. This environmental vigilance preserves the delicate marine ecosystems that support countless communities and traditional practices across Japan's vast archipelago. Historical keenness for balancing human endeavor and nature, lasting through centuries, fortifies harmony with the seas, a principle ever enforced by prudent regulations in a world increasingly prioritizing environmental safeguards. Also captivating is Japan's approach to intellectual property, where copyright holds unique considerations for reproduction and adaptation across multiple mediums. Creators and enthusiasts enjoy more flexibility despite stringent copyright enforcement, nurturing dynamism in sectors like anime and gaming, ensuring content remains protected yet accessible for innovation underscores Japan's artistic ecosystem's vibrancy. Imagine an arena where both creativity and compliance waltz spectacularly, the synchrony not just between rights and responsibilities, but also culturally grounded tales resounding through intricate licensing and formidable respect. Thus, Japan's laws often border on the bizarre, which might elicit surprise from afar. Yet, under the strange veil lies significant value, reflecting societal ideals birthed out of a unique blend of history, tradition, and modern necessity. From waistlines and keys to fortune-telling and rain-wrought courtesy, Japan's legislative world presents an intricacy both bewildering and beautiful, an overarching narrative of a nation distinct in its strides toward unity and innovation. Before we finish, let's quickly revisit that curious Metabo Law. Who'd have thought waistlines could be a legal matter? It's these kinds of unexpected surprises that make exploring laws from around the world so fascinating. If you enjoyed these quirky insights into Japan's legal landscape, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more global oddities and astounding stories. There's so much more to discover out there.